Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we will be making this website. So this website, Lapsus, it's a free bootstrap template. It looks quite elegant. We will be recreating this website without use of any framework. So no bootstrap, no foundation, just pure HTML and CSS. Of course, it's easier to make it with a framework, but that is the goal of this series, is to teach you how HTML and CSS works. So let's begin. First thing we need, a picture. So I took these pictures from pexels.com. I will link to it in the description. If you search for landscape, the first one, this is the one I will use. Of course, you are free to use any you want. That's up to you. Let's begin. So you open a folder, you put the image inside and add this template. So this HTML boilerplate, a title, Lapsus, and you link to your CSS, which is empty right now. Right, so let's begin. First thing we need is to contain all of this. So let's create a div. We call it container. So this will span everything. We'll give the container width of 100%, so it covers the entire width, and a height of fit content. So whatever we put in it, that's the height, because as you can see, the height will be larger than 100%. It will be, yeah, I don't know, so we'll just leave it like this. Right, let's give it a background color to see the div in action. Now, as you can see, we don't see any color at all. So why is that? Because when we say width 100% and height fit content, we don't have any content inside of it. Let's add something. There we go. Now it fits the content. Now, automatically there will be a little bit of padding and margin around every div. That's standard behavior in any browser. So we are going to remove that by calling the body and eliminating the margin. There we go. Now it fits nicely. So the first thing we have to do, add this little blue banner at the top. I'll call it banner. So let's create a div called banner. And what will banner be? Yeah, let's remove the color. Banner will be yeah, full width, and so let's take 10 pixels in height. Let's give it a background color of red just to try it out. Yeah, it does seem kind of small, so let's make it 15. Yeah, looks more like it. Now, to get the color, we're gonna inspect, hover over it, and just like that we can check which color he used. So he used 5p blah blah blah. So let's copy that. 5p C0DE, I believe. Yeah, so now we have the top banner, and let's go to the second part. Now, for this we will have to use a picture and add all of this. So let's do it. We'll call it a header or main content, that's something up to you. I'll just call it header, and inside of it we have, let's see, a title, Lapsus. So I'll give the title an h2 tag. Wait, before we do that, let's span the entire content in another div, and I'll explain to you why in a second. Now we'll call it Lapsus, and the subtitle is, yeah, just copy it. You can type it over or just open the website. I'll link to it in the description. Here we go. Finally, we have a button that says download now. Alright, this looks beautiful and this looks ugly so far, but we'll fix that. So the first thing we have to do is give this entire section a fixed width. So now we call it header, so we're gonna give header a width of 100% and a height of, let's try 550. Keep the background color, yeah, that's quite large, so let's reduce it. Yeah, that seems good enough. Okay, now if you just leave it like that, we will notice that there is a margin, an empty space of margin. So why that happens, it's a concept called margin collapse. So to explain it in English, this lapsus or H2 has a margin on the top of 19 pixels, while our banner does not have a margin. So because our lapsus has a margin, the margin will come outside of the div and leave this empty space. It's default behavior that every H2 or P tag has a margin. So how can we fix this? Just call for the H2 inside of margin, inside of the header, and we'll take the P as well. So the P is the other tag, and let's remove the margin. As you can see now it's fixed. However, I only want the top margin to be on. Yeah, that looks alright. Now for the next part, let's make it a little bit bigger. So for the H2, let's give it a font size of 2.5 times its size. Yeah, perhaps even a little bit longer, perhaps 4. Yeah, and for the P, let's give it a font size of 1.5 times its size. Yeah. Now we have to put a break after the 4 right here, and we do that by inserting a break in our HTML. So the BR tag is for a break. Now you can see that they are fit right perfectly. Next thing, we'll have to add the image. Now we did put a background color. Let's change that to background image. You have to specify where the image is located. So just link to it. Now if you leave it like this, it won't fit scale well. So to fix that, let's just make the size be covered. There we go. That looks quite alright. Yeah. Alright, next up is a TM. So the TM icon we have right over here, this trademark. Let's add it after the lapsus by first of all using subtags. So what does that do? Everything we put between the sub will go up. So it will go up here and not just in the middle. And in between them we will use a special sign for the trade icon and percentage rate 7. There we go. Let's also give it an ID of trade. Alright, And let's just change this to H1 to make it a little bit bigger. Yeah, of course we have to change it here as well. There we go. It's starting to look like it. Now we have to make it white, of course. So right in here, let's make the color white. Yeah. And as you can notice, the lapsus, the title has a little bit of blue shadow around the text. So how can we do that? Here in our H1, let's give it a box shadow of 1 pixel, and now for the color, let's pick this color and text shadow. There we go. We can make it a little bit bigger by multiplying this. Yeah, looks alright. Now TM can't have any text shadow, so let's target our traits. Let's remove the text shadow and make it color white. Nice, it's already white. Let's make it a little bit smaller. So let's try 0.7. No, that's too big. 0.4. Perhaps even 0.3. Yeah. Alright. Now, next step is giving it a little bit of letter spacing. As you can see here, these letters are not very close together. So in both the P and the H1, let's give it a letter spacing of 1 pixel. Perhaps even 2. Alright. It looks like I accidentally put a letter or something in that. Okay, a white space. Remove it. Let's also make its margin 0 everywhere. And let's give a margin right here below the text and above the text. So for that, we're going to go to the P, add a margin top of, let's say, 30 pixels, a margin bottom of 30 pixels. There we go. Let's make the TM logo a little bit bigger. So the traits, where are you? 0.5. Alright. Now let's center it. For that, we should put the div content around it. So let's check what the content actually is. Oh yeah, load the header. So let's give the content a background color of red. So this is what the content looks like, and this is what has to be centered. So let's give it a width of 50%. Let's make the height, or no, I'll do it later, so you can see why. Now we have to give it a display of flex, but I'll be using it multiple times, so let's make it a separate class. Flex, display, flex, and let's add this to our class. I already added it, so in your header, add a class of flex, so it will be display flex. Now it will. Now the content will take the entire height. So to fix that, we'll make the height fit the content inside. Voila. And now to center it, let's go to our header, justify the content to make it center horizontally, and let's do the same thing vertically. There we go. Let's remove the color. Looks alright. And the final thing to do is give it as hover effect for the button. Yeah, by the way, let's just increase the padding a little bit so the button becomes bigger. And now for the hover effects, let's change the background color to, yeah, which color is it? So we can check that by clicking on it on the hover. Let's check. Is it this color? No, it's the same thing. I'll find it out and add it later. Alright, the hover color is this right here, so you can just pause the video and copy it, or copy it from the description and I'll put it there. Now for the border, one piece solid, same color. And let's give it a cursor of pointer for that hand effect. Now let's check. Here we go. So this is it for this part. And in the next part we will add this right here.